Hey everyone, this is MusicTechHelpGuy, and in this video, I want to talk about percussive synth leads. These are becoming more and more common nowadays in popular music and dance music, where you have like a beat drop after a chorus or after a build-up, and the synth melody is sort of got a really front edge percussiveness to it. So let me show you an example of just a quick beat, just using some loops, and a quick synth lead example that I came up with just using retro synth. Okay, so it's a cool little synth lead, like a little lead drop section. And I could play around with, the attack time and the decay time here in retro synth and try to get this more front end percussiveness on it. But the problem is by pulling down the sustain, you're dropping the overall level of the note, and that's not really what I want to do. So what I really want to do is add something to this that's going to give the front end of each note a bit more pop to it. Now, there's two ways you can go about this. The first way is you can create a drum kit. So I'll load up the Infinity kit on this track here, and I'll open this up here. And let's look through some of these samples. Yeah, the wood block here on C#1 is pretty nice. Let me go into the pad controls and pitch this up a bit. So we got to remember that's on C#1, and then what I'm going to do is just drop this down, hold Option to copy it down, and then open this up, and I need all of these notes in here to be conformed to C#1, so they're playing that wood block sound. So just select all of these, go up to Functions, go to MIDI Transform, and there's an option in here for random pitch. What this will do is pull up the transform window, but really what I want is a fixed pitch. So I'm going to change this modifier here from random to fix, and I'm going to set this to C#1, and then just with everything selected, select operate only, and all the notes go to C#1. It almost starts to sound like one instrument, even though it's two separate tracks. And this is one way to do it, but you're sort of locked into Drum Machine Designer if you do it this way. So let me show you another way to do this. Find any drum sample you like that you want to layer it with, like rim shots and wood blocks, things like that work out really well. And instead of loading up a whole Drum Machine Designer, I'll just load up an individual drum sample from the library, or you can drag and drop a sample into Quick Sampler manually. And actually here if you play higher or lower, because now we're using Quick Sampler instead of Drum Machine Designer, things will actually be in key. So in Quick Sampler, when you just have one sample loaded in, the higher you play, the higher the sample gets pitched up. The lower you play, the lower it gets pitched down, even if it's a percussion sound. So that's actually pretty useful there if you want the pitch of the percussion, the layered percussion, to go up and down as well. Let's try out one of these other ones. There we go. I kind of like the first one better, but so one thing about this is because these are both playing the same thing and they can be pitched around, you actually can just send the MIDI data to one channel. You don't have to send it to both of them. And the way you do this is you select both of these, go up to Track, and then go to Create Track Stack, make these a summing stack, and now I can call this Percussive Lead. And you can actually put the MIDI data up here on the track stack, and it'll send it to both instruments. There's kind of like a cool delay on the retro synth too. Let me pull that over to the percussive sound as well. And now you can record this way too. I can just arm the track stack and play in on my MIDI controller any way I want. So that's how you can create percussive leads in Logic Pro. If you want a copy of this Logic project, I'll leave a link below where you can download this and play around with this musical idea. I'll leave it just as it is right now, so you can play around with the lead and maybe come up with something on your own with this patch. If you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. Also, I dropped an album teaser for my band's new album that's coming out later this month. I would really appreciate it if you go and check it out, especially if you like rock, heavy metal, and metal with orchestral elements. This was my band that I used to gig with over 10 years ago, and it's been 11 years since our last release. This album like almost didn't happen because the guys flew from Michigan down here to Florida to track everything, and this was like literally just a few weeks before the pandemic broke out, and we tracked the whole album in 3 days. So I'm very proud of the production and the musicianship on this album. I did it right. Everything was tracked at a pro studio with high-end gear. I mastered it to tape and everything. So I can't wait to share it with you, and I'd really appreciate it if you go checked it out. As always, thanks for the support, and thanks for watching.